moment. While I am getting something figured out here on my end, and I apologize for that as well. All right, but yeah, this is Hades. I'm Demerine. My 4th time around on Frame Fatales. I'm very excited, as always, to support Malala Fund and support this wonderful charity. Have a little fun with Hades here. If you've played Hades before, though, you'll notice that I'm at the end, and of course, my wonderful commentator, sylverfyre, can explain to you why I'm here right now.
So, one of the things that is required for a run to be considered a valid unseeded run, meaning that you haven't gotten any information about the run prior to playing it, is that there is a point at which you have either cleared the game or died during a run, so that which causes it to basically regenerate. Like, that's when it decides the seed for the next run. So we're basically starting at the end so that we can have that recorded on screen so that it counts as a valid unseeded run.
He just rose too quickly.
So that's one of the things that the community does for leaderboard integrity.
Yep, so we're going to finish the run that I did for practice before I started my stream this fine evening. So now this is an official unseeded run. I have no knowledge of what is going to happen, which makes for a really interesting speed run. I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to see a bunch of characters here. We're not going to talk to them. There is a beautiful, wonderful, overarching plot to this game, and I 100% highly recommend that you play this game. Any percent unseeded, this is a fully unlocked file. You'll see I have all of the abilities that I want here, all laid out, ready to go. Specific ones that end up mattering are Shadow Presence, which increases my damage when I strike an enemy from behind. This will matter a fair bit, depending on the weapon I have. It's a little bit better with Fists, it's a little bit worse with Rail. Going down, of course, you get 3. You can die 3 times, that's real important. Privilege status means I'm going to try and get debuffs during the run, because that means that if I have 2 debuffs on the enemies, they will take a massive amount of bonus damage, and this lets me manipulate up additional skills throughout the run. The bottom 3 are really important for manipulating out the abilities that I want. More importantly, though, we're going to get to the next room, and I got to pick a weapon. So, Asuka, what weapon are we using today?
It's a funny thing you should mention the fists, because the weapon you're using is the Twin Fists of Malphon. Thank you, everybody, for your fantastically generous donations for that.
Great. So once you have a fully unlocked file, there are 4 different weapon aspects for the Fists. Aspect of Demeter is the official 2nd fastest weapon in the game. Basically, what ends up happening is that it gives you the ability to strike 6 times instead of 2 when you special something after 12 strikes. We're going to take Thunder
being the uppercut.
This here, and then you have a regular attack, and you can fire these shards out. But we'll talk a little bit more of that as we go. I'm going to set this to difficulty 0. This setting Extreme Measure changes the boss arenas a little bit. It makes the second boss faster, but much more unsafe. And since I do want to finish this run, there's a chance that I don't finish. I don't want that to occur.
Turn on some level of tight deadline.
Why?
Because when you turn on tight deadline, it removes the 45-second survivals. Even just one level of it.
Those are fantastic. Those are money farms.
Yeah, but they're terrible for a speedrun.
Yeah, except I've got 35 minutes and I've given myself plenty of time, so we're fine.
Well, fine. But if you do turn it, if you're actually doing a speedrun of this and you want a good time, then you turn that on, because it gives you it removes all of those fixed timer runs where you have like 45 seconds to survive. But we're gonna just abuse those.
The in-game timer turns off for those, so this is faster for IGT but slower for RTA.
Oh, really?
Potentially. Yes.
I didn't realize that the in-game timer's paused for the full 45 seconds there.
Changed in 1.0.
Oh, okay. I hadn't
changed
noticed
on release.
That. Yeah, I did most of my running before 1.0, so I didn't realize that change. That's interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, so I'm going to let you do most of the talking here. I am ready to go. Is everybody ready to go?
All right.
Yeah, we're good to go.
If somebody would like to count me in, then we can get this party started.
We'll count you down then. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, it's time to shine.
It is indeed, Zagreus. It is indeed time to shine.
Me for clear instructions.
Sometimes Dad taunts you at the start.
Embodiment of the standard to which you are held. Set your aim higher than to be like me.
Dad's much nicer once you're on an endgame file. Cool. Let's talk a little bit about the decision tree that we have. The in-game timer stopped. The gods will give you buffs.
All right, so I'm seeing the one we want here, which is Lightning Strike. Our attack is buffed. The fists attack really fast, and this adds a fixed amount of damage, which is fairly reasonable. So for a low attack power, high speed weapon like the fist, this is exactly what we're looking for.
This also gives me a low-grade AoE, but you'll notice that I'll get this decision often during the run. The timer stops during this. I can talk all I want for the in-game time. Well, let's get this party rolling.
All right, Lord Zeus.
All right.
But there'll be a lot of dashing from enemy to enemy here. And you'll see occasionally the words cutter charge will pop up once I have 12 swings in, which is super important for actually doing lots and lots of damage. We're going to take the very powerful Drunken Dash, which will add a debuff to our enemies when we dash to them, which is great.
As long we're thinking about that, as long as there are 2 debuffs on an enemy, we get bonus damage in mind. It's also like even though it's a damage over time, which is like, oh, it's better if it's you're taking a long time, kind of, but it's just a fairly high amount of damage. That debuff also stacks up to 5 times.
Yeah, and you see that it explodes 3 times when it's actually going off. It doesn't just hit once, it'll hit up to 3 times on its own.
Yep, and we leave those puddles everywhere because we are dashing constantly. So this is actually one of the more powerful dashes in terms of just damage output.
Yep. If I were on Sword, I would not have taken a dash there. I would have taken additional damage when I drink from fountains, because Sword requires that you get one very specific dash buff. That is not the one. But since we're on Fists, that one is just as good as just dash strike damage or Reflect on Dash, which is the safety out for a lot of players.
That's currently strength.
Yep.
So this is a Palm of Power. This gives me the opportunity to increase the damage or power of one of my abilities. Of course, we're going to buff Lightning Strike here.
This is a speedrun, so we're pretty much always going to say hi to Charon whenever we see, because there's always 12 rooms per chamber, and this counts as a room.
Yep.
So, free
Getting a lot of
progress.
early safety here. Getting a lot. Yep, free progress is super nice because, that room takes 3 seconds to get through. I don't have to fight anything. There's 2 sorts of rooms. We haven't seen the other one yet. Actually, I've not seen Chaos at all.
Looks like this is going to be a mini-boss. Which one are we going to get?
The good one.
This is the good one. So this is a big crystal thing. You'll notice we actually do fire our cast at it. The main reason we do that is because anything that has our crystal shard inside it will take 50% extra damage from our attacks and specials.
Right.
Pressure points is just generally more damage.
It's 4% crit, and crits do triple damage in this game. Pressure points has been nerfed 4 times in development.
It is still very good.
It is still excellent.
Do you have time for a quick donation?
Yep, go ahead.
Perfect. Right, we have $25 from Bruno Fightmaster that says, "Wait for towels! Doing great work as always, I see. Hey, here's a little something to help out in all the donations to Malala Fund. Great stuff, great stuff. Can't wait for the Hades run? Easily one of my favorite games of the year. Agreed."
Frost Flourish is really good. I need a special buff. 60% is pretty good for common tier, so I'm just going to grab that now.
Yep.
Ravenous Will is also pretty good, but I would want that to be higher tier, where it's at least 20% damage. Oh, hey, and we get Sisyphus as well, which is another free room that doesn't cause progress. Yes, he's been pushing this rock for a long, long time.
It's his friend.
But it's his friend. It's his bestie. They've been together for all eternity. More importantly, he's going to give me 100 money, which lets you buy things. it lets you buy safety or lets you buy more damage output potentially as well. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to be really assiduous with my controlling here, is dash through the enemy to poison them and then hit my special from behind them. The reason for that is that the first strike of the uppercut will apply the debuff. Ooh, Dionysus' 8 is excellent. Will apply the debuff, and then the rest of the hits will hit for the extra 40% damage.
Were you fishing something specific there? Because you did pass up Dionysus' 8 and then ended up taking it anyway.
I was fishing for health. I was fishing for premium vintage for safety.
Yeah, premium vintage is like, you know, it's safety, but it's safety in a way that also gives you power, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing. Nectars, when you have a fully clear file, nectars also give you, they also buff your items. Do a little fishing here while we're at it. Best JRPG of 2020, Hades, right here, right now. We're gonna stop time for a sec. We're gonna catch a fish.
Fishing in a speed run. Because it pauses the in-game timer.
It pauses the in-game timer. If I'm gonna show this game...
There are leaderboards for real time as well, but that's just not what we're focusing on right now, so.
We're going to take another Demeter buff here. Arctic Blast is great. If you apply 10 stacks of chill, it will cause the enemy, instead of staying very slow, they will detonate and deal damage in a decently wide area, so.
Yep, and to themselves.
And to themselves, which is important. If it didn't deal damage to themselves, it would be bad. First boss, go ahead and talk about this while I try and get off the ground.
So this is one of the Furies, and let's see. What's important about her?
And she likes to taunt me.
She's probably the most aggressive attacker of the possible fights here. We have our call here. Dionysus' call is actually the strongest strongest total damage from a single call bar. It's like it stacks the dot like 5 times fairly quickly, and then it's like each stack is around 15 to 20 damage. I don't know exactly what it is for the level we have it at.
And it's per half second, not second. So it's double that. I think it's... I can check that. Look, I'm going to check that. In the middle of a speedrun, timer stopped. It's 15 per half second, so 30 damage per second for 9 seconds. But we're going to change off of the Zeus brace. We're going to change off of Zeus, and we're going to go to this one end game, which is the Palm Blossom. This means that my abilities will get stronger every 4 rooms we do. Now we're going to stay on that for a little while, and we're going to buy some healing because we are going to play this very safe throughout this run here. 308, a little slow, but like sub 230 is where you want to be for the first area, but it's real tough and requires that you get some breaks along the way, so we're gonna take that and move. Not a good start. I also didn't get a hammer in no hammer in Tartarus either, which is
that's unfortunate. Hopefully we get one pretty early on, and
we'll get one.
We're even running the mirror option that gives us more chances to get hammers, right?
Correct. So get more chances to get hammers and boons, and I've gotten health twice out of it. I've gotten health because the game knows what I want in a speedrun. I want health. I don't even get a hammer here, but we do get the second of the timer stopping rooms here. We will meet our best friend Eurydice. She is, of course, a dryad. She is passed away. She is reunited with her husband at this point, Orpheus. And she sings.
Oh, he's taking it.
But more importantly, she's going to give me the option of either buffing the rarity of my abilities, which just increases the base damage that they do, increase their level, which is useful if everything is low level, but this is a little less useful now, or assure that I'm going to get rare boons going forward. Since what I have is important and kind of not buffed up, we're going to take that and hope that it hits our main attack. Of course, it does not. It does. Of course not.
It hits both of our Dionysus boons. That is going to substantially increase that damage, those dots.
I know, but
that's not really what we were looking for, but it's nothing, so...
I was looking for an extra 45% damage on either my special or my main attack.
Yeah, we didn't get it.
Like, I was looking for, 40% damage on my main button. It's not 40% damage on a thing I don't care about as much.
Yeah, that's why this is...
This is an interesting game to speedrun, and it's a little bit random in its ways, so...
Not every run is going to even really be capable of being a PB just because you're relying on luck in a lot of ways.
I'm gonna have to probably buy my hammer here. That'll be fun. Been a long time since I've had to buy a hammer in a run rather than just getting it. Nope, don't have to buy my hammer. Hi, Karen. I'm gonna fish. I have blast,
I think
right?
for this makes sense.
I mean, if I have
Yeah, we
blast,
do
this
have
does
blast.
95 damage, so this is fine.
Okay,
it also
fair,
sets
that's
me up.
true.
Also sets me up for the legendary potentially later on. So
Oh yeah, because that applies 10 stacks of chill, which then immediately detonates.
yep.
Okay, that's not bad. It is, it is actually very possible to have some like fairly powerful revenge builds in this that like stack a lot of damage based on when you get hit, which is a little weird to think about
It's a little risky.
in a game with like so little healing available.
We'll take numbing sensation for safety. Still no
I
hammer.
guess.
I mean, I didn't want to.
None of those are really especially great offensively anyway.
I'm saving my rerolls for Demeter Legendary at this point, I suspect.
That makes sense. Yeah, we do have a couple rerolls here that the little dice that you see in the bottom right that allow us to. It's 1 the first time, and then 2, then 3, and so forth.
Ravenous Will is good. Crystal Beam is not great. We're gonna reroll this once at least. Do I want to burn off the rest of my rerolls here? Yeah, let's do it. We don't really get rewarded with that though, which is unfortunate. Keys will also replenish those, but that requires I take key rooms, so worth noting. Second boss.
So Ravenous Will is the one we took there, right?
Yep.
So
So
it
you're
says
gonna
that we
see-
get a damage bonus and damage reduction bonus whenever we've fired off all of our crystal shards and don't have any remaining.
As you're fighting learning, would this be a good time for a bit of a quick donation?
Yep, go
ahead.
ahead.
Perfect. All right. Anonymous donates $25 and says, "Hi to my brother Bo, who told me about this event, and thank you, Demerine, for supporting such an amazing charity." We also had a $15 donation from Nux Tenma that says, "Supergiant and helping more girls get an education. Sounds like good excuses to donate. Thank you to both of you."
That other one's gonna die off screen. So Learny's gonna dive on me 3 times instead of 1 here at the end.
Yep. And of course we're doing things like standing in the lava to attack more because we don't care about the damage incoming so much as we care about how much we're doing. We lost
course,
a moderate amount of health on that fight, but we don't care.
But we don't care. We're gonna
We'll be
heal it
fine.
up when we get we heal up. You get a heal between floors. That is about 30% of your health bar. So we're gonna top up real quick. I don't need to take my safety yet, so that's good. Ooh, Light of Ixion. There's gonna be a
This is
hammer, though.
we're guaranteed to get, almost guaranteed to get a hammer because we haven't
Hammer
seen
here.
one yet. So we're not
Weapon.
running the, we're not switching our boon?
No, we're gonna switch it for. We only need it. We only need it for the end. I'm gonna keep buffing up my skills while I'm here for now, while it's still a
Oh,
little
okay. Oh,
safe.
right. You're buffing. You're running that one. That makes sense.
Yep, then I'll take the spirit point at the end for safety, so we don't blow the run. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen, and I need... Hammers are weapon buffs, which actually change the way that you're able to play the game and let you go really, really fast if you get the right ones.
Yeah, especially because there's a couple of them that like combo with each other that are really bonkers.
That are absolutely broken, which is nice. Hades is really nice because there's no bad decisions, it's just some decisions are better. And I kind of appreciate that because, you know, if you have bad decisions in your this should be all good decisions, it feels really bad to play a game. But since all your decisions are good, it's just some are better than others, and that's okay. Because even if you pick the wrong things, it's great. Wow. Thanks, game.
I think Rush Kick. So Rush Kick raises the base damage on our special here.
Yep.
And
instead of
also adds a movement component to it that is really nice.
Is really nice. Breaching Cross is what I would take if I had gotten a hammer in like area 1, because Dash Strike breaking through there. Basically, with the health bars, you'll see there's red health bars and yellow health bars. And we didn't explain this, but yellow health bars are armor, and you have to crack all of the armor before you can damage the enemy. And also, armor gives protection. Like the hit that breaks the armor doesn't ever do health damage. But when you do 10 times as much damage to the armor, a Dash Strike will just break the armor basically. But since we're closer to the end of the run here, what I really want at this point is going to be the ability to maneuver myself a little bit. You can see that the base damage is 40 plus my plus that, so it's actually 64 now, which is kind of nice because I get the multiplier on top of it.
Yep. And then there's more multipliers that we're adding, like the backstab potentially, or 2 debuffs, etc. There's a lot of ways to add extra damage. I'm piggybacking off of like what you're saying about like there's no bad choices. You know, that's also kind of like, especially because you're always looking at a couple limited choices, it's really important that all of the, like, none of the choices are just awful.
Outright awful. But yeah, I took Jolted there, which adds a debuff to my main attack, which means now when enemies attack, they'll get burned in response.
Ah, St. Patrick list, that's great. Another room that doesn't add to our in-game timer.
Yep. This is the run saver. If you've died, you can reload all of your deaths here. Since I don't need that, and I don't need healing, instead I get 60% attack for the next 10 rooms. So basically, the entirety of the zone is now in a lot of trouble. We're gonna take the shop, even though I would normally want the double boon real bad, because it's possible legendaries all the way around. I guess we're taking Snowburst here.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. None of those are great. I just need the damage at this point, so... we get another free room. We get a fountain room. We get Cold Fusion. Do I skip Cold Fusion here for Storm Lightning? Gives me a shot.
I don't actually know the, like...
So...
Those are both very good.
The reason that I'm going to pass up Cold Fusion means Jolted just stays on targets, which means if they attack continuously, they take continuous damage. Storm Lightning opens up access to the Zeus Legendary, which is one of the most powerful abilities in the game. And I'm actually going to risk it here, because the Zeus Legendary will make the end of this game so much faster if I get lucky, and I don't.
I don't even think that's much of a risk. Asterius is actually probably faster than a random room. Partially because, hey, we're going to summon our pal Thanatos. And that just chunked away about half of Asterius' health here.
Does 3,500 damage, which is, yeah, about 45% of his health bar. And then the cutter will do the rest. I'm going to take some damage here because, you know, we're trying to go fast instead of play smart. So he's going to walk away at 7 minutes. We get decent time, at least. It'll be nice if, like, I'm getting close to the end, too, because I got a lot of free rooms, which is nice. Come on, game, give it to me. One time, do it for me.
Yes.
Billowing Strength is actually...
Billowing Strength is incredibly good with this build, because we like doing that single bar.
Do we like burning?
Single bar burning the call, and then 25% more damage. We'll basically be able to keep that up all the time.
Yeah, like it's enough time, it's long enough and powerful enough to be very worth it, so we're going to pop it, and now we're doing 24% more damage. So we are stacking those buffs. Everything is about multipliers in this game. The bigger your multiplier, the better. It's hard to keep it up 100% of the time, but, you know, we'll do our best.
It's going to be close.
You need wind up. You always start every room with 0 gauge. Basically, that gauge in the bottom left, the yellow one under the health, is your god gauge, and it will start at 0, which is annoying. We're taking concentrated here, I think. I'm attacking a lot with fists.
Yeah, attacking concentrated knuckle seems very good here.
Draining cutter is for high heat, for high difficulty runs, for safety. I don't need that much safety at this point.
Likewise, long knuckle is like, makes it easier to play safe, but
I'm not. Oh, there's a Chaos Shrine. I could have taken that, but we're not going to because
we actually haven't gotten any. We actually haven't gotten any Chaos Shrines yet, which is a little awkward.
That was the first one I saw pop. This has been a really bad seed, by the way.
Gotta love that marathon luck.
Like, this seed has been, other than like being pretty good through this area. This is probably why I wanted the. I haven't seen those. Those are the first flame wheels we've seen. They run up and explode on you, and they're a nuisance. They do 10 damage, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if there's like 4 of them, you could take lots and lots of damage in a very short period of time. And then there are these shield enemies, which you'll see me trying to very constantly dash through because they block attacks from the front. They take backstab damage in the back.
Well, everything takes backstab damage in the back, but that's the only kind of damage they take. All right.
Quick favor
Greatest
assures.
reflex or
Quick favor assures
Quick
that I'll
favor.
always have uptime. I'm all about that uptime life here, so we're gonna make sure of that. So now my god gauge will charge immediately. Is there a money in here so I can get health as well? I don't see a money jar. I've been really bad about that. I'm gonna be unsafe though.
Should come in useful.
There's cold fusion again.
well, I think
we'll
at this
take it.
point we'll take it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm
Electric
not-
shot kind of is like the runner-up there.
Yeah, electric shot is nice, but we're gonna take cold fusion so that we don't have to worry. We'll always have 2 debuffs on things now, basically 100% of the time.
Yeah. Our attack. Yep, we're gonna summon Thanatos at the beginning of this fight again.
You just need to keep both of them in the circle, which is hard sometimes, but
Oh, we got it.
we're gonna die here.
Importantly, at 50% health, Theseus puts down his shield for a few seconds, which, you know, he also summons a god down on you, but we're not worried about that. We're just worried about being able to hit him.
Yeah. So we're gonna take 1 death. 852 is a solid time though. Like, I'm pacing well for a decent run. Everybody's a fan of Theseus, except
Thanks to your support.
1 red shade in the which is your fan. If you do not stop by and greet him, you will feel bad at the end of your run. It doesn't invalidate your run or anything. You'll just feel bad. That shade has been cheering for you for a long time. And we are going to take the broken thing, broken spear point. So what this is going to do for us is this gives me safety. So when I get hit, normally when you get hit, you get hit multiple times in a row. You get a barrier at a certain threshold of damage taken, you'll get a free barrier. This just means when you get hit, you are invincible for 1.5 seconds, and it will last for 1.5 seconds, and then 5.5 seconds later, it will be back up. We're going to take this heal for safety, and we are going to come into the end here. This will reduce my speed slightly, but it's almost unnecessary to have a speed up for this area. But we're at the RNG part of the run, the saddest part.
Yep, so in this there will be a total of 5 hallways, and we can get the item we need anywhere between the 2nd room and the 5th room that we go down. Oddly, we're actually going to take one of the quote-unquote challenging rooms here because the mini-boss fights at the end of the challenging rooms are generally faster than the non-boss ones.
Yep.
But we could get bad luck and have a tiny vermin.
Yeah, there is one particular boss that is monstrously fast, monstrously painful to hit,
And takes a
does a
while.
lot of damage, and it takes a while no matter what you're doing, because you can't Thanatos cheese it. It is the tiny vermin. It is tiny, and it is adorable, and it is out for your blood. You'll notice that one attack, when my chain lightning goes off, the chain lightning will just bounce between these tiny rats that all have 1 health, so they die instantly. And here we go.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, that's right, Digress. Oh no. Did I curse you? I think I cursed you. I'm so sorry, Demi. The biggest problem about this is that, like, the vermin burrows under the ground, and then you just can't attack it anymore.
I'm gonna risk this. Whatever, I got 2
We
charges
might
left.
be able to keep it in the circle.
It has decided to not be helpful. Again, nice thing is with 2 debuffs up, we're gonna get through there, but that fight takes like twice as long as the regular fight does. This
We did
is
get
the-
Splitting Bolt, however.
This is the Zeus legendary. So now when your lightning goes off, instead of it doing 10 damage, it does 10 damage plus 40.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and this will make the tail end of this real spicy.
Real fast.
And now we're kind of at the mercy of the RNG again to
To
give
bless
us the
us
Satyr Sack here instead of a fight room
instead
at
of
the
a
end of
fight room
this
at the end of
branch.
this. Yep. There is a racing community for Hades that I'm not a part of, but they have a mod that removes the randomness from this. It's always 2 hallways in their race modes, which is really interesting to me. It's a mod that's not for speedrunning. It makes your speedrun invalid. But for the race league, they use it because it takes the randomness out, because losing a race because you got 4 hallways and your opponent didn't is kind of silly. Oh, look, the actual luck.
Yeah, we got, you know, some good luck in this run. And we are going into the Hades fight with 2 Death Defiances.
I don't want to.
think we
I'm
won.
not gonna risk. I'm not risking it. I could have risked it. There's a anvil down there which lets you turn one of your 2 hammer buffs into 2 different hammer buffs at random, but I'm not gonna risk it. We're fine. Let's just do this. Just do it. It's tempting, but you know, we're gonna get out of this in about 12 minutes in game time, which is okay. Not quite a PB for sure, but we could have a real fast Hades fight as well with the Zeus Legendary online.
Yep. Yeah,
Dad
we
quips.
would want about
Enjoying
like
the delicate warmth of the surface.
yeah, we can still get a sub 12 in game.
Yep.
Apparently the
Dad
generosity
quips, you quip,
Does feel a bit
you
different,
lip
maybe.
off at each other because that's what you do. He is your father. You want to punch him. He is your father. He has been trying to stop you from escaping for way too long now.
It's worth noting that even while he's invincible, punching him while his berry is up still does charge our special.
Which is
Right.
silly. Yep.
Oof, we are taking a lot of damage, but
Yep, but I have 2 extra lives here, so
Just rest in peace.
we're being a little reckless. I could probably stand to be a little less reckless, but... Dad, I need you to stand still for like 5 seconds, please. So this is dying. We died again.
yeah. We can afford to take about 220 more damage.
219.
We're not finished.
Exactly 219
We can
damage.
take
is what I could afford to
219
take.
more damage. Well, no, we can probably take a little more because the shot that kills you can't overkill you. Right. We actually generally like to see him firing the lasers there because there's a safe spot.
And we're going to summon Thanatos here because we have unlocked Thanatos for the last fight. And we're going to chunk Dad for 3,500 real quick, and we're going to stand right next to him, and we're going to punch him in the face a few more times, and we are going to sub 12 at least, so I don't feel super bad about this run. That is time.
Nice. That is time. And also worth noting there against even the lasers in all directions still has a safe spot if you're really
Right
close to him.
Next to him.
I think we did take a couple hits, like one hit from that and then got in.
Yep, but that's also why you have the spear point. Is
It's
it
also
lets
why you have
take
the
that
spear
one
point,
hit,
because then
and
you take
get
one
a-
hit instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4,
8.
5 hits.
Right, instead of getting roasted, which is not good.
I
But yes,
bet.
Dad lips off.
Win. Boy.
That is sad.
Yeah, sub 12, and that's a very solid run.
Yeah, it's not bad for really bad luck. My best time's 11:33, so, and that run started off really slow, so I can't feel too bad about that. Like the world record is like, I think with Fists is right around 7 minutes, and with Eris Rail is like 6:45 now,
Yeah.
if I checked correctly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is
there
worth noting that those are like when you're really grinding for the perfect, like to hope to luck into the perfect seeds too,
like, yeah, it
where
takes
you get the
hundreds-
boons that you want really
right
early
away.
on.
Like, it takes a lot to get to that point, and again, there's a high mechanical ceiling for this game as well. Like old rail runs for people like back before the 1.0 patch were just so fast because the mechanical ceiling is so high. Like that's like the one thing about this game is that if you want to go fast, and like I'm going fast, like 11 minutes is fast, right? The mechanical ceiling is pretty realistic. Like getting faster than this really does require that you break through that mechanical ceiling and get lucky. So it's a little tough. But that's clear number 130. But that is Hades. You get rewarded with more darkness, which lets you upgrade things, and more gems, which lets you upgrade things. But we're going to show off one more death scene for poor Zagreus. He's going to come back and die because he cannot survive outside of Hades.
The prince discovers that the mortal realm is utterly bereft of the life-threatening excitement to which
Just
he has
looking at all
grown
your best
accustomed,
times for all
and
the
lack of
the
anything of
weapons
note
makes
to
me
do
cry when I
Sheer
think of my
identity
times and that they're
results
nowhere near
in
any of
this.
those.
I jammed a bunch of practice, and like even then, it's like there's still a ways to go if I really wanted to push it, but I don't know if I'm going to or not. So, but yeah, that is Hades. As
Please,
always,
everybody,
I would,
hold your applause.
love to thank the RPG Valkyries, my team. Sylverfyre, of course, is a member, as am I, and they have been wonderful and supportive and always help out with all sorts of speedrunning and non-speedrunning related things, which is fantastic. Thank you again, Sylverfyre, for coming out and doing commentary. That is, it's always nice just to get to hang out, and this game's, of course, one of our favorite games. It's my game of the year, by far. Best game of 2020.
It's certainly among mine too. I've been really, really enjoying it. Looking at like the over 200 hours I've already put into it.
Like everybody I know who buys this game goes, maybe I won't like it. It might not be for me. And then 87 hours later, they're like, I was wrong. This game is great. And of course, for Malala Fund, again, a fantastic cause. Thank you all for your donations and your generosity. And of course, last and never least, my fiancée, Olivia Kythera, who, is the one who continues to push me to speedrun and, has super supportive of everything I do. So, of course, I'd like to thank her as well.
All right. GG's again, Demerine, for that insane Hades run. And don't mind all the notes I took about all those, the boons chosen, because, yeah, you put on a clinic there. So, with that, we are going to be taking a short break, and then we're going to move on to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which is an any percent run done by Becksky93. Sit tight, and we'll get that on our way. But before I walk away, all right, and we are back. Now, I just wanted to give you a heads up that we do have those bid wars and donation goals that are closing soon, particularly with our upcoming run for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. You get to choose the outfit that is being worn, and it looks like Dino has taken the lead with Dancer in a close second. So if you want to see the Dino, you want to see the Dancer, you want to see something else entirely, you know what to do. Put those donations into the one of your choice. Also, we have, again, 2 donation wars going out for Resident Evil 2 Remake. We have the language choice and the outfit choice options. Words are hard. For language choice, we still have French in a commanding lead. As for the outfit choice, Noir is still in the lead, but both 98, that wonderful, wonderful outfit, and the classic jacket are starting to make a run for it. So again, you want to see any of those, you can put in your donation for those. But speaking of donations, we had a lot coming in for that Hades run. So I'm just going to read them off for you. We have Tiny Construct donating $25 and said, Hades is so good. Thank you, Demerine. And again, thank you, Demerine, for that fantastic run. And thank you, Tiny Construct, for your donation. We have Jillian just saying so much love to everyone and donating $15. Heart, so much love to you too. Let's see here. Polarity Bear also donated $15 and said, here's hoping some money can help Zagreus bribe Charon to let him out. Well, we could try, but I don't know if that's going to work. But still, thank you for your donation for Malala Fund. Let's see here. We have John Lilas that donated $25, and John says, my wife is so excited that this event is happening, and I'm so happy as well. This is such a great cause and reason to donate. Thank you, GDQ, for being this pillar in the communities at Speedrun. To everyone out there running, watching, and existing, I love you, and you are amazing just the way you are. I couldn't have said it better myself, John. And you are amazing too, and we love you as well. We have an anonymous $15 donation that just says, glad to see these runs happening for a good cause. Agreed, and thank you for that donation. Let's see, we had a $25 donation from Blue Eyes Spice Dragon that says, watched the informational video and saw the Zagreus Charm reward, and I knew I had to donate. Hooray for Games Done Quick, and hooray for you. With that, we are going to send you over to an amazing Malala Fund video. So without further ado, we'll take you over there.
When I first came to the United States, I spoke zero English. I started with ABC and number 1, 2, 3. I had to start from zero.
We talk about girls' issues. We talk about what needs to be done for girls in their education and their empowerment.
Hi everyone.
أنا اسمي هدير.
Hi friend, मेरा नाम आकांक्षा है.
This is a video series in which girls from countries around the world are sharing their stories and telling what matters to them. This is Roll Call.
I grew up in a small village in northern Iraq called Sureshka.
Since I was one of the minority religions in Iraq known as Yazidis, I was the main target for ISIS.
At a very young age, I witnessed Yazidi genocide right in front of me. We were heartbroken because of what happened. Today, I'm grateful that I got to a point where I am safe with my family right now, and I got to a place where I'm receiving my education just like any other boy.
معطنا نبراسكا كيف مش نبراسكا بويز ديالك اللي راعينا وحياة شو مدارس وعن وقالك عباشا معطنا الراس بلدك قالك التنظيم صار معايا بس با يعني بعائلة قالك سيفتي يا معطين قالك يزدي اللي راكم.
By the time I arrived in America, it was around graduation time. My cousin took me to one of my friends' graduation. The girl gave a speech and I sat there and I said, one day I will speak there. My own cousin, he was like, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you.
I'm a freshman, but I live off campus. This is my apartment. Coming here, I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to do everything. I didn't want anything. My gender, nothing stopping me from what I wanted to do. Like I remember going to one of the after-school programs, and I asked my teacher if this is only for boys, and she laughed at me. She said, there's nothing here in America only for boys.
For me, it was not that easy transition. I remember going to school for the first few days and just sitting down and listening to teachers talking and you're not able to understand.
حياتك صعب وبداية ما إنجليزي نزاني ما نزاني بس يجي خطرش دابا أنا عم بتكنين بس بتكنين ما نزاني شو بيشتا.
My dad, he said that it's just not for you to learn the language, it's for your family as well. And that immediately increased my motivation, saying, oh, I will do this for my family. And that's where I got the motivation to learn 10 vocabularies every single day. And for a year and a half, I just focused on getting that language, on knowing the language. So when I first came to America, I remember the first day, the first person that I saw and I met and we became best friends for life was Masa. During the weekends, she comes down to my college and I come down to her college. And despite education, we just try to have the best time together. She plays guitar and she plays it for me every time. And she's trying to learn some Kurdish, right?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Right now, our families are like best friends and they hang out all the time together.
Well, that's it.
It's the first day of spring, basically, and then we call it Nowruz. It's one of those holidays it's not a religion holiday. This is really special because it's the only holiday where everybody comes together and celebrates it. You're away from the country, but you're still proud of your heritage. And just to say it, Happy Nowruz to everyone. To me, freedom is just having rights just like anybody else. To go to school, you don't need freedom for that. It's my right. Me and Masa would always say that if Americans have to study 1 hour, we have to do 2 hours. Like we have to do double, triple as them to get to the same place, because we both wanted like not statue of being refugee, like not knowing the language, stop us from continuing our education, continuing and achieving our dreams. It's women like Malala and Amal Clooney and Nadia Murad who inspire me every single day to work hard enough and to improve my skills in many different ways, just to one day I can give that back to my community and I can give back to all these girls who have been facing so many things throughout their life. And it's my dream that one day, no girl should face what I had to face.
I hope that these stories would have inspired you and that you will share it with your friends as well. And please do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
And welcome back, everybody. Have a couple more donations to read before we go into our next run. One more quick shout out to Demerine from Leggy Starscream. Leggy donated $10 and just said, just gotta chime and shout out at the ever wonderful Demerine. Good luck, and I love you, less than 3. Thank you, Leggy, for that awesome donation and comment. We have Coffee Man donating $25 and said, it is a stacked night of runs and a great charity to support. Good luck to all the ladies and non-binary runners this week. Agreed. And as a reminder, all of our wonderful donations are going towards Malala Fund. And Malala Fund is working for a world where all girls can learn and read. Malala Fund advocates for resources and policy changes needed to give all girls a secondary education, invests in local education leaders, and amplifies the voices of girls fighting for a change. Fantastic, fantastic cause, and just a wonderful group of people. Here. And as a reminder, we do have some prizes that are available for today. Again, shouting out the Resident Evil runs. We have drawings of both Leon and Mr. X that you might have seen during the intermissions here. All it takes to be put into the running for that is a $15 minimum donation. We also have fantastic holographic Ares print if you're a fan of getting Ares boons from that wonderful Hades run. That is also a $15 minimum donation. We have the Zagreus charm. That is a $5 minimum donation. We also have the gorgeous and surprisingly huge Artorias the Abysswalker statue. I didn't realize how big that was until I saw it on the stream. It was really cool. All that takes is $25 donated to a wonderful cause. And then lastly, to praise the sun, all it takes is a $10 minimum donation, and you could potentially have your very own Dark Souls Sunlight medal. Alrighty here. So we're going to do one more quick donation, and it looks like we are going to do a $110 donation from G Mundy that just simply says, "We dino now." Thank you for that awesome donation. And with that, speaking of that dino costume, we're going to hand it over